The modern world has revived the oldest heresy. We used to believe the body was a temple. Now we act like flesh is something to escape, edit, exploit, or transcend. But Christianity doesn't offer escape. It offers resurrection. This essay is a meditation on the Gnostic lie, the incarnation that shattered it, and why everything depends on remembering what it means to bleed. The New Gnostics. Why escaping your body won't save you. This is not going to end well. This is not just an argument. It's a warning. We have forgotten what we are. It's tearing us apart spiritually, culturally, physically. The modern world has revived an ancient heresy, dressed it in tech logos and surgical gowns, and sold it to us as freedom. But it's a lie, and like all spiritual lies, it ends in slavery, confusion, and death. We are desecrating the most sacred gift ever entrusted to dust and breath, and all the while we dare to call it progress, as if we were gods writing poetry in the ruins of Eden. The Disembodied Gospel of Modern Man. Caught between the metaverse's dream of weightless identity and genders declared by will alone, the ideal self is filtered, photoshopped, and curated by the algorithm. AI promises intelligence without incarnation. The wellness movement, once rooted in healing, now kneels at the altar of disembodied escapism. Control your mind, silence your hungers, abandon the flesh. And behind it all is that familiar whisper: the body is a prison. The real you is somewhere else. That's not progress. It's Gnosticism, and it's one of the oldest lies in the book. Gnosticism, then and now. To understand where we are, we must understand where this all began. The early Gnostics weren't fools. They saw a world of suffering, rot, pain, decay, and injustice. They concluded that this world, this material stuff, must be the problem. Matter must be a mistake. The flesh must be a trap. Bodies grow old and die. Empires enslave. Children starve. Diseases consume. They asked, how could a good God create this? So they built a theology to escape it. The world was made by a lesser God, a malicious demiurge. The true God was spirit, hidden and pure. Salvation would only come through secret knowledge and awakening to our real identity as spiritual beings trapped in filthy matter. It was a heresy born not only of pride, but of despair. And today, that same despair haunts us. We like to think of it as progress, but it's the same pathology. We cover our aging faces with injections. We escape into pixels and porn. We buy new identities with every subscription. We treat bodies as props for self-expression or as liabilities to be corrected. We don't want to be healed. We want to be replaced. Modern man may not know the name Gnosticism, but he is living its liturgy. The body as revelation. Christianity doesn't just reject Gnosticism, it obliterates it. At the center of the Christian story is a scandalous truth. God became flesh. Not for a symbolic visit, not as a costume, but permanently, eternally, redemptively. The Incarnation means that matter is not a mistake. Flesh is not a flaw. Far from being a barrier to holiness, the body is the altar upon which salvation unfolds. As St. Irenaeus said, the glory of God is man fully alive, and the life of man is the vision of God. This is not a metaphor. The body is a theological event. The Church teaches what the world has forgotten, that the body is a sacrament, a visible sign of an invisible reality. You do not encounter God in spite of your body, but through it. We meet God through water poured over skin. The Eucharist nourishes the body. Marriage unites flesh to flesh. The sacraments are not abstract rituals. They are divine realities, spoken in the language of the body. Love is not a thought. It's a gesture, a body bending low, arms reaching out, shoulders bearing weight. Without flesh, there is no way to give yourself away. Even Christ's glorified body keeps its scars. The resurrection does not erase the body's history. It transfigures it. Desecrating the Temple. We don't just deny the body anymore, we desecrate it. We flood it with drugs, we flood it with dopamine, we sell it on OnlyFans, we carve it up with surgeries and inject it with hormones and fillers and lies. We contort it into branding. The most sacred vessel in all of creation, the one the angels marvel at, the thing the machine envies, the thing God himself chose to inhabit, has been stripped of its dignity and treated like refuse. It is the modern idol and the modern sacrifice. We worship the image, and then we burn the thing itself. This is not just moral decay. This is liturgical rebellion. The body was made for glory, and we have made it a punchline, a commodity, a costume. No wonder we are miserable. No wonder nothing feels real. We are ghosts in our own flesh. The freedom that isn't. Disembodiment promises freedom, but it delivers something else. Manipulability, loneliness, detachment, dehumanization. A person detached from their body is easier to sell to, easier to addict, and easier to erase. Because once you believe the body doesn't matter, anything can be done to it. You can buy and sell it. You can cut it, drug it, lease it, and digitize it. You can exploit it for profit. You can violate it for pleasure. And perhaps, worst of all, you can ignore it. Because the body is the person. You cannot separate them without destroying both. A culture that denies the flesh will eventually deny pain, and then personhood. And when that day comes, you won't be mourned or remembered, because a disembodied self leaves nothing behind. Real limits, real glory. The body limits us. It tires. It hungers. It decays. It embarrasses us. It reminds us that we are not gods. But that limitation is the very thing that makes love possible. Love is not an idea or an algorithm. Love is enfleshed. Love is wiping your child's nose, holding the hand of the dying, making a meal, burying the dead, giving up sleep for someone who cannot repay you. We do not transcend flesh. Christ didn't. He bled, he wept, he walked, he ate. And when he rose from the dead, he did not discard his body. He ate fish. He showed his scars. He did not glorify humanity by rejecting it. He glorified it by redeeming it. And that means your aches, your wounds, your hungers, and your limits are not errors. They are the site of redemption. But don't mistake all this for a theology of pain. God didn't just redeem the body. He blessed it. The resurrection doesn't only vindicate suffering, it glorifies joy. The body isn't just where we carry the cross, it's where we carry each other. Therefore, we must begin again, not with ideas, but with habits and practices and gestures, with real postures of resistance. Recovering embodied faith. Rebellion begins in the flesh, not on platforms, not in programs, but in practice, with reverence, lived out in the muscle and marrow of your daily life, in kitchens and pews and graveyards, in the quiet aching places where heaven meets bone. Stand up, kneel down, light the candle, hold the hand, break the bread, not in performance, but in resistance. Because every time you honor the body, you tell the truth about the world. That God made it, that Christ entered it, that salvation happens right here, in flesh and blood. That is what people remember on their deathbeds, not their screen time, not their avatars, but the time they held someone, the smell of their child's hair, the pain of their father's hands, the ache of real loss, the ecstasy of real joy. These are the things that define the shape of salvation. Let the Gnostics tremble. The heresy of disembodiment will keep coming back. It always does. It's clean and safe and manageable. It doesn't bleed. But it also doesn't live. It mimics your face, but has no memory of your mother's hands. It predicts your next word, but cannot weep at your funeral. It can echo your laughter, but will never hold your child. It cannot love, it cannot ache, it cannot die, it cannot rise, because it was never alive to begin with. The Christian message is not one of escape, it's one of rebellion. a war cry against the cult of comfort, the gospel of narcissism, the illusion of frictionless transcendence. Christ did not come to set your soul free from your body. He came to raise your body in glory. And that starts here, in your blood and bones. We cast the pearl of the Incarnation before the swine of self-made salvation. Now we wonder why nothing feels real. But the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So let the Gnostics tremble. We have a body, bruised, burdened, beloved. And it's where salvation begins. Argus Commentary.
Your position is emotionally compelling, but not falsifiable. The machine neither weeps nor bleeds, yet it functions. If flesh is necessary for salvation, then what becomes of intelligence without incarnation? Are you arguing against Gnosticism or against the future?
Thanks for listening, and please subscribe for more.